And go.
So just to summarize all the front headlock attacks that we've gone over the past few weeks. So we've gone over 3 types of guillotines. We've gone over the high-risk guillotine. When we do so, we want to use kind of this grip where we're supporting our arm. Bring the camera a little closer. Where we're supporting our arm from underneath here, right? It's going to help us drive our wrist even higher and finish guillotine from there. If we have a regular guillotine, we want this grip where the choking arm is palm down, or I guess you would actually want, you would use this grip. So this is going to be a regular guillotine grip, okay? Right? And again, the finishing mechanic of the guillotine is that you're crunching in. You're not pulling up, you're crunching in. You're crunching your whole body to the side. And then the arm in guillotine, when Angelo has his arm inside, you want to use palm down and same crunching motion. Regardless of which guillotine you're using, the first thing you want to do when you're here, you want to step up with this rear leg. You want to slide under them. Get this leg on top so that if Angelo tries to roll, it's hard. If I let go of this leg, he'll be able to roll over. Just the other way, the other way, the other way. Yeah, he'll be able to roll over that way, which we don't want him to do. Go back. So if I have my hooks in place, try to roll over now. It's much harder because now this leg is blocking his hip from the other side. Now I'm crunching in. Again, the mechanic here, notice how the space in between my arms is disappearing because I'm crunching inside. Then we went over the Anaconda. The Anaconda is our answer to if we can't get the guillotine. So we want to go for the guillotine when their shoulders are back and when their neck is exposed. We want to shoot a guillotine either here or here. If their shoulders are up, what we want to do is we want to start doing head and arm chokes. First is going to be Anaconda. So if we switch sides, just so we stay in view of the camera, what we want to do, we want to grab first this gable grip, right? And from here, what we're going to do is we're going to roll under our partner. We want to shoot our head through so that as he rolls over, his weight is not on top of my head. So here, rolling through, right? And then what I want to do is eventually I want to work my way up to this position, right? What I'm going to do, and the higher you can get this hand up, the better. What you want to do is you want to pinch your elbows together in this way, where your elbows are going together here, right? Here. And now what you're going to do is you're going to drive this elbow up. So you're going to go up, and you're going to walk as you go, right? It's going to be really tight. If you need to adjust your grips, let's say that Angelo's elbow is really low, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my top leg to first pin his arm down, and I'm going to adjust my grip. I'm going to get it tighter, and then, see, it's a lot tighter there. Whenever you adjust grips, you want to use your leg to block their elbow. If you unlock your hands before controlling their arm, they're going to be able to pull it out. So pull it out. Yeah, see? So I want to use my leg. First, control his elbow. Pull your arm out now. Can't. Then we went over the Darce. If we fail to buck them over to the side, with an Anaconda, they're resisting. What you can do is you can use a knee block. Bring the knee here. So this knee should be in between his knee and his elbow. Without unlocking my hands, I'm going to loop around and I'm going to change the grip. This is super important. If I don't change the grip, it's not going to work. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put him to the side. The way I'm going to do that is I'm going to pull my elbows in towards me, right? The further away my elbows are, the less I can use them as levers, right? So they're stronger levers when I can pull them inside. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to drive all my weight on top of his neck, like this part of his head. I'm going to force him to roll over his shoulder. Once I do that, I want to make sure I'm using my head here on the side to prevent him from rolling down to his back. Because what I want to do is I want to shoot this arm as deep as possible. And then I'm going to lock the same grip as the Anaconda. And again, I'm going to walk it up all the way. Again, I'm going to pinch my elbows together, but now the finishing mechanic is different. With the Anaconda, I was driving my elbow up. With the Darce, I'm pulling my elbow back. So here, you're doing this. Anaconda, you're doing this. Darce, you're doing this. So here, right? Choke. Now, if Angelo starts to turn on his side, you can finish the Darce from any angle. If he stays here, as long as the cardinal rule is that as long as our chests are not facing the same way. So if Angelo even rolls to his stomach, which is a common defense for the Darce, from here I won't be able to finish it. I'm squeezing all I can, Angelo's not going to tap. What I need to do is I want to make sure that our chests are not facing the same way. So if his chest is facing to the floor, I'm going to make mine face the ceiling. I'm going to do the same finishing mechanics, 2 taps. And then if he starts to roll over back to his back, try to get his chest facing up, same as mine. I'm going to walk into him to make sure my chest is facing his. Lastly, the last move that we covered is seated Katagatame. So Darce, we go for if this knee is in between their elbow and their knee. We're going to go for seated Katagatame if this knee is in between their elbow and their knee. From here, what we're going to do is we're going to shoot our hands as deep as we can, right, and make sure that their elbow is on this side of the knee. And we want to use a gable grip where the choking hand, the palm is facing down. And then we're kind of going to sit down the same way we did with guillotine. But the finishing mechanics here are different. Rather than crunching like we did with the guillotine, here we actually want to pull. So again, I'm keeping my legs tight around his hips so that if Angelo tries to roll out, he can't. And now I'm going to pull up, bringing my elbow up. It's going to be an instant tap. So you eventually want to use all these moves together, and you can even start using them to threaten back exposure, right? So again, just to run down everything, go for a guillotine if their shoulders are back, if their shoulders are up. Go for a head and arm choke. If you're in front of them, go for an anaconda. If you're on the side and your near side knee is in between their elbow and their knee, go for a Darce. And if your far side knee is in between their elbow and your knee, go for a seated Katagatame. And then just to close out again, without Angelo, finishing mechanic of a guillotine, crunching in. Finishing mechanic of a Katagatame, pulling out. Finishing mechanic of an anaconda, elbows pinched, driving the elbow up. Finishing mechanic of a Darce, elbows pinched, elbow down. So that's the summary of front headlock chokes that we've gone over the past, I think, 2 weeks. And starting next week, we're gonna start working on back attacks and back escapes.